I'm also excited about tablet PCs. I mean, I've had one for 7 years at this point. This is my second. But at the beginning of next year, with the iPad, we've got a sort of functional, very light tablet PC. But at the end of this year, beginning of next year, we're going to get something in the iPad model, but the computing power of it will be much, much greater. So I'm very excited for what that can do for healthcare as well. I mean, healthcare has been using tablets for several years as well. It's one of the few vertical markets that have actually taken advantage of the tablet form factor. But that's kind of a footnote on all of this stuff, and not the main thrust of what will power it forward. The cloud computing is definitely, on the data side, more important. But to me, the important thing is bringing the practitioners together. Having both the stimulus package last year and the health reform succeed in going through this year creates new opportunity for wellness providers to participate in our healthcare system. And I think if we're able to do that, we can actually reduce the costs used in our healthcare system, because we do more preventative and maintenance care. We keep people from getting into trouble. Not always successful. I mean, people are still going to have diabetes and heart attacks and all that.
Yeah.
But we can reduce the frequency, we can reduce the severity, I think, quite a bit.
My understanding is that the only preventative measures that will be paid for come 2011 are ones that have been approved by the U.S. task force. And so I wonder, what provisions or what changes might come so that more alternative medicine will be allowed.
Yeah. Right now, it is very, very Western focused. Preventative care, annual checkups are getting paid for.
Right.
Mammograms and pap smears.
Yeah.
So that's expanding. But the idea of preventative care also includes exercise, diet, acupuncture, chiropractic, nutrition, naturopathy. All those come into play as well. They are not specifically mentioned yet. They are also not traditionally seen in the hospital setting. So they haven't had the lobbying power to be included. There are tons of National Institutes for Health studies, but there's not a consistent way that they're publicized. We don't have a journal of the National Institutes of Health that has the same prominence of Journal of the American Medical Association, for example, or the New England Journal of Medicine, or I think there are 3 or 4 prominent. Even Science has published Western studies that get a lot of play. Where you have pharmaceutical industry funding studies and then padding research that goes into these magazines that are given credibility. That's where something like the Integrated Medicine Project, the education project, comes in. We can, and working with the provider virtual network, we can create and publicize that research. If we have that data, we can go to representatives and say, this is how our stuff helps. And we can create specific proposals. That's where we're weak right now. I've been to Speaker Pelosi's office, and I spoke about trying to get acupuncture and massage therapy represented as part of the wellness care. There was a package to have Medicare pay for acupuncture.
Mm-hmm.
The reason it wasn't included specifically is because they said, show us the research.
Mm-hmm.
Show us how this is going to work. And we didn't have the lobbying power. We didn't have the research power to go ahead and dig it up. Here's the research for you, plot.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I mean, a big problem there is who's going to fund it, because nobody can patent the research. You know, nobody can
Right.
patent quercetin or vitamin C or, you know, or a particular acupuncture protocol or things of that
Right.
nature, because so there's no money in the end for the person who donates that, gives that money. So the idea is finding people who can give funding who want to see the larger picture outcome and not the.
See, that's where the beauty of having the virtual network.
Mm-hmm.
You got all these people, you have a large patient base,
Mm-hmm.
you create the study design within your health record, and then when people opt in
Mm-hmm.
to participate in the research, it automatically pulls from their health record. It doesn't take extra money to do that.
Mm-hmm.
The investment is the time to pull together the data and make meaningful sense of it. It would certainly be possible to do grander research studies that do require outside funding, but even so, using the health record would make it easier to pull that data, make it cheaper to complete the study. The challenge would be creating a model that's different from the traditional double-blind study.
Mm-hmm.
We would be doing more qualitative type research, but I think it is also possible to do quantitative research. We could look at people suffering from the common cold. There are going to be people coming to you as a naturopath. There are going to be people coming to me as an acupuncturist. We could look at, okay, what changes when they see a naturopath? What changes when they see massage therapists? If we've got osteopaths or MDs participating in the network, we can see what changes the Western medicine have. We'll probably also have patients who choose not to see any providers at all. If they're participating in the network, if they have their personal health record, they've got a diary of that. Or we could say that in this patient population, we had this percentage of folks get sick, this percentage was using this modality, this percentage was using this modality, and we could see qualitative changes. You know, maybe they didn't get well any faster with acupuncture, but their quality of life, their ability to function while they had symptoms was much better. You know, instead of aches and pains and being bedridden, they're up and about, they're taking their kids to school. You know, they may not be going to work because they don't want to get people sick, but they're functional. You know, the length of the disease course might not change, might be the same as if they hadn't taken anything, but they feel better and they're able to function better. That is meaningful data. That's something that we can pull out of the health record. That's something that could be taken to legislators and say, you know, instead of 7 days of lost work, this person lost 3 days. You know, they were still sick, but they were able to work. So that's meaningful data that has a legislative impact. And that's something that an individual provider cannot do unless they are participating in a big research study.